Some people call it luck. Others call it fate. But every once in a while, a true story appears that feels impossible, almost supernatural. This is the story of a man who survived a plane crash not once, but twice. And what he said afterward left investigators speechless. A strange sense of doom. On January 26, 1972, a commercial flight over Czechoslovakia suffered a catastrophic mid-air explosion. Out of 28 people on board, only one survived, a flight attendant named Vesna Vulović. But here's the part that fascinates historians, investigators, and psychologists to this day. Vesna didn't remember boarding the plane. Witnesses said she looked pale and distracted, like she already knew something was wrong. One passenger even claimed she told him, quietly, "I don't want to be on this flight." No one ever found evidence explaining that strange feeling. The impossible fall. When the plane broke apart, Vesna fell over 10,000 meters, nearly 33,000 feet, without a parachute. Rescuers were certain they were searching for bodies. But instead, they found her alive inside a crushed fuselage section, barely breathing but conscious. Her survival broke the world record, one that still stands today. Doctors were shocked. Physicists were confused. No one could fully explain why her body survived a fall that should have been fatal several times over. Some called it luck. Others didn't. The second incident. 2 years later, in 1974, Vesna was flying again, this time as a passenger. Halfway through the flight, severe turbulence hit. Most people gripped their seats. But Vesna calmly closed her eyes, took a breath, and said, "It's going to be fine." Moments later, the aircraft dropped violently. Passengers screamed, but the plane recovered barely. The pilots later stated, "We came within seconds of losing control." What frightened people wasn't the turbulence, it was Vesna's reaction. She wasn't shocked. She wasn't scared. It was almost as if she knew. Again, the investigators' theory. After the second incident, psychological specialists interviewed her for a research project on extreme survival. What she said confused everyone. "Sometimes I dream about things before they happen. Not clearly, just a feeling. A warning." When asked if she dreamed about the first crash, she nodded. "Yes, for a week before the flight, I felt something was coming. I just didn't know what." Scientists dismissed it as trauma-related intuition. But several neurologists argued that extreme events sometimes unlock heightened pattern recognition, the brain noticing tiny details subconsciously. Still, none of them could explain how she sensed two separate near-fatal events. The unanswered questions. Reporters often tried to push her. "Did you really know the crash was going to happen?" She never said yes. She never said no either. Her answer was always the same. "I just felt something pulling me back. Something telling me, don't fly today." And here's where the story gets even stranger. After the second near crash, she refused to fly ever again. For the rest of her life, she traveled only by train. Some people said she was traumatized. Others believed she was listening to that voice. Whatever it was, that saved her twice. A final mystery. Years later, investigators revisited the case for a documentary. While interviewing locals who rescued her after the first crash, an elderly man said something that puzzled researchers. "When we found her, she kept saying the same sentence, over and over." The documentary team checked his notes. Vesna had been whispering, "Not this time, not again. I won't do it again." But this made no sense. She had never been in a plane crash before. So what did she mean? No one knows. The legacy. Today, Vesna Vulović's survival remains one of the most mysterious, scientifically confusing events in aviation history. Some call it a miracle. Some call it destiny. Others believe she had a sensitivity, a sixth sense, activated by something we still don't understand. All we know is this: she survived a fall no human should survive, then narrowly escaped death again. And she felt both coming. Was it luck? Instinct? A sixth sense? Or something even stranger? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you want more real mysteries and unbelievable true stories, make sure to subscribe. There are many more stories the world still can't explain.